I had a great hunting season going, but it just got better. I'm about to hunt the biggest whitetail I've ever had the opportunity to hunt. We're headed back to Panther Hollow Whitetails.
McWhorter Custom Rifles presents
This week, folks, Blondie and I are going back to South Texas, and we're going to be after the biggest buck that has ever been hunted on Precision Hunting TV. She's got her 7 SPRC. I'm going to be behind the camera. We're going to get after him.
Precision Hunting TV is brought to you by McWhorter Custom Rifles, Macmillan Fiberglass Stocks, Swarovski Optique, and Extreme Wildlife Adventures.
Panther Hollow has been our South Texas trophy whitetail destination for over 5 years now, and Joe and Claudia Matkin have become our very good friends. We have taken many great bucks here during this time, and always kind of thought that the potential was virtually limitless as to what this big South Texas ranch could produce. But we did not know just how limitless it really was, but dang it man, were we fixing to find out.
Allan and I were just out here in October. We both killed giant bucks. I killed a big mainframe 10-point, lots of extras and stickers, dropped him in his tracks with a 6.5 PRC. Allan killed a giant buck, a big 6x6 with some extras, dropped him in his tracks with his 7 SPRC. As usual, Joe is teasing us with those trail camera pictures, and Allan keeps sliding this one over my way, and my eyeballs are about to fall out of my head. He's like, "Do you like that one?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And he said, "Okay, how about we go hunting?"
Well, we're finally here. 15 long hours, but a small price to pay to get to come to Panther Hollow twice in a year. And we weren't planning on a second trip this year, but our good buddy Joe Matkin called us and said that he had found the biggest whitetail that he's ever seen on this ranch, and asked us, which was a really stupid question, did we want to come down here and try to hunt him. So Joe Matkin and his management on his ranch in South Texas have managed to produce the biggest buck I've ever seen in my life. We actually got a glimpse of this deer last year while we were hunting, and it was big then. The jump, the gain it made this year was unbelievable. I mean, astronomical, just blows you away. The deer is actually a pretty good sized body deer for South Texas, but the frame on his rack just made him look surreal. It was the biggest thing you'll ever put your eyes on. I don't expect that no matter how many more years I hunt that I'll ever see a deer bigger than this deer.
It's not unusual when we go to South Texas to Panther Hollow that there's a lot of rain, and this one was not going to be any different. It's late November, the rut is kicking in, and we've got some cold sets ahead of us. Good gracious. He's got another whole row of tines on the inside. It's hard to believe he's 2 years old.
in South Texas. Panther Hollow has become just a place that I have anticipation all year to get back to. Joe has some amazing deer. We get to see lots of young, beautiful bucks. And it's fun to come out here year after year and see those bucks as they mature. I'm tired of looking at cows.
First day, couple of great sets. Saw lots of big mature deer, but not this big fella.
This segment of Precision Hunting TV is brought to you by Borden Accuracy, makers of the most accurate custom hunting actions on the market. Manufactured in the USA to true bench rest tolerances. Borden Accuracy equals success.
Joe says this is one of the most unpredictable deer he's had on his ranch. He's been seen everywhere on trail camera, but we're about to catch a break. The rain has set in, and we think we're headed back to camp to take a break for a little while. And while we're on the way back, we spot this deer. And we cannot let this opportunity pass us by. We've got to get out of sight and try to get up on this buck. This giant buck and this doe he's tending sneak off into the brush, and that gives us the break we need to slip through the brush and get into this pop-up blind that Allan had set up the day before.
"45 minutes to an hour passed. It's getting to be late afternoon, and a couple of deer start filtering back in from the other end of the field.
The rain is not letting up. It's just getting harder and harder. But this doe comes back out into the field, and Allan said, "I guarantee you that's his doe. Just sit back and wait. It's gonna happen."
And I just had it in my mind, this has got to be his doe. She walks out, she feeds a little bit, she looks back. She walks out a little further, she looks back. This goes on for probably 30 to 45 minutes. And I tell Denise, I said, that buck's in that brush and he's just watching her. I said, if another buck comes close to her, he's gonna be out in that field with her. So we wait and wait and wait. Some other deer got kind of close to this doe, and he makes his appearance. So the deer finally stopped at 250 yards, facing away from us, offering no shot. I'm still hoping that this rain-soaked camera is going to work for us. Finally, he makes a left turn and walks out and stops broadside at about 253 yards.
Okay, come on, dude. He's fixing to turn.
And Denise puts it on the point of his shoulder, and this legendary South Texas buck is down in his tracks.
In the pouring
flood and rain, I have killed the biggest buck of my life.
We got him dead out there, that's for sure.
I'm absolutely speechless. That is the biggest deer I have ever had in front of me.
That's the biggest deer that Joe's ever seen on the
It has been a nasty, nasty day. Just raining all day. I'm soaked. Allan is
We
soaked.
finally crawled to the blind.
Allan's freezing to death. He gave me his raincoat. Camera went wacky. We texted some of our camera guys and said, what do we do? The camera's acting all funky. And they said, turn it off. Don't turn it back on for 2 days at least. But we turned it upside down and waited a little bit and tried it, and it was working. And oh my gosh,
It's working now?
I'm shaking.
Precision Hunting TV is also brought to you by Tough Power Auto and Outdoor Stores, Borden Accuracy, Ultimate Antler Deer Feed, Mesquite Creek Taxidermy, and Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue.
Okay, come on, dude. He's fixing to turn.
In the pouring, flooding rain, I have killed the biggest buck of my life. Well, this is definitely one of the best moments in my life, my hunting life for sure, and maybe the best I ever have. And I'm perfectly happy with that because I don't know how it could get any better.
Wow. And what a story behind this buck. This buck's 7.5 years old, born right here on this ranch, probably within, a mile of here. He's huge mass, big spread, lots of points, long points. Just
He has it all.
buck
He
of a
truly
lifetime.
has it all.
Buck of a lifetime.
And I will be okay if this is the biggest deer I ever see, because it is the biggest deer I've ever seen. And I could end my hunting today and be completely satisfied. Yes, sir.
What a deer.
Thank
good
you so
shooting,
much.
buddy.
Thank you.
Good shooting. Welcome back, folks. On today's segment, we're going to show you exactly how to build a ballistic profile on your SIG Kilo 2400 ABS.
Correct. And to start that out with, we're going to need the rifle, the scope, and a pair of calipers or a micrometer to get that started off with, because what you're going to use that for is to measure your center, your bore height, from the center of your bore to the center of the scope. To start it off with, in order to get started, you're going to utilize both the range finder itself, and you're also going to use their application, which you can find on Google Play or on the App Store. So we're going to go in here and first open it up. You're going to go ahead and click the plus sign, which is going to bring up the menu for setting up your rifle. You can name the rifle whatever you want to, 6.5 Creedmoor, which is what I'm going to build in here today. First thing I'm going to do is go to the library. I'm going to use the library versus setting it up myself, because they have already done it for you. So
Bullet
utilize
length,
it, bullet
everything,
length,
yep.
everything. That way you don't have to sit there and get into it too much. So 264 Burger, and then we're going to go down and find the one, which is the 140 VLD Hunting. And then once that's been there, it's going to bring up a selection. It's going to ask if you want a G1, G7, or a AB custom curve. Well, since you bought the SIG rangefinder, they give you access to the custom curves Applied Ballistics does.
That's right. So always select the custom curve.
Always select the custom curve. It's going to give you a more refined solution from the zero distance beyond 1,000 and further.
Right.
So you're going to have a more finite solution for your ballistics is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. Now I'm going to go in and take off and put in my muzzle velocity. So we're going to go by the lab radar. Mine's moving at a whopping 29.15 for the rifle that I have and utilize. Zero distance is going to be 100 yards. Then I'm going to set my sight height, which is 1.95. Then you have the selection there to bring in your zero offset, which we talked about in a previous segment.
Yep.
So you have your zero height and then your zero offset, and then your twist rate, which was the twist rate you're utilizing for the weight of projectile that you're using, which is a 1 and 8. You'll select off that. Now you've built your ballistic profile for your rifle and the projectile that you're going to be hunting with. All you have to do is hit save, and at this time you're going to go ahead and select that profile that you just built.
Right.
You're going to turn on your rangefinder, and then you're going to go ahead and hit sync, and that's going to send all that data to your rangefinder itself. So now that we've done that, the next step is we're going to talk about this in another segment, is we're going to go from here and out to the range. We're going to go ahead and find our target, go by the dial-ups that it gives us, and we're going to see what the actual downrange results are.
Right.
So there we're going to have to true our ballistics.
The farther we can shoot, the better off we are. So we like to usually do this at least 1,000 yards.
At least 1,000 yards, and what we're looking for is to have this give us the exact data that we're actually seeing happen downrange. So if it tells me to dial up at 28 minutes, I'm hitting point of aim, point of impact is right there on the X.
And then we're going to make adjustments usually in the velocity, which we'll go over in another segment.
Yes, and there's two ways of doing that, whether it's adjusting the velocity or hitting a calibrate function. I find that adjusting the velocity is a lot more accurate, but we'll get into that on a segment next time.
So there you go. That's how you build a ballistic profile on your SIG 2400 kilo ABS. That's your downrange segment for this week, brought to you by Allan and Keith and McWhorter Custom Rifles.
Precision Hunting TV is also brought to you by Tacticam, Sig Sauer, Trigger Tech, Brooks Barrels, Capstone Precision Group, and Hawkins Precision. This segment of Precision Hunting TV is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, real Texas barbecue.
Oh, what a difference a day will make. All the rain's gone. Bluebird skies this morning, about 40 degrees. You can see your breath. That's unusual in South Texas. We're out here trying to do some more management. We're looking for just the right dose or right management box. But we got interrupted by a mangy old coyote this morning that came in to harass some of these deer, so he didn't make it. So. One more coyote, we don't have to worry about eating Joe's deer. I'm shooting today. Denise shot the biggest buck in the world yesterday, so that's what we're doing. Today, this afternoon, tomorrow. There we go. Well, that's our doe. She wasn't very far, about 175 yards maybe. But what a nice doe. Well, this is all part of it here. Big adult doe, just part of the management plan. 7 SPRC, point of the shoulder, dead, no suffering, and we got some tender back straps right here. Well, that's a nice management 8 dead. all part of the management program. You got to shoot the inferior deer to have the superior deer, and that's what Joe does. He does a great job of it. All the 1.5-year old deer that aren't even 60 inches, he shoots them, and anything that's 2 years old that's only an 8-point, he shoots them. So this one qualified, and we did our job. We killed a doe and this management deer while we're here, and now we're ready to head back to Georgia. Denise has got the buck of many lifetimes, and I help with the management. So great trip, and Panther Hollow Whitetails, best place in South Texas. I love it. I look forward to this trip more than anything else every year. So can't wait to get back here next year. This tremendous buck, besides being the biggest animal that Denise and I have ever seen, it's the biggest buck ever taken by either one of us, biggest buck ever taken on Panther Hollow Ranch, and the biggest buck ever taken on Precision Hunting TV. Congratulations to my beautiful wife and the buck of a lifetime.